Did you want to get into the traps or the pitfalls of spirituality?
Yeah. Do you think it would be helpful for people?
Oh yeah, there's plenty. Toxic
Yeah.
positivity is one of them.
Toxic positivity is definitely one. I mean, I'm just checking myself to see if I'm being toxically positive. Because, like, what is that about, huh? That's about not being honest with myself and where I'm at,
Yeah, and
isn't it?
that's judging emotions that are uncomfortable or quote unquote negative. So spiritual bypassing is where we deny certain emotions. We sweep it under the rug and sprinkle some positivity on it because spirituality is supposedly being positive. But
Yeah.
that just means that you're not getting the lesson from that negative emotion.
Yeah, which is, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
because spirituality, and this is what formed part of my spiritual identity before, because you can get trapped in that, can't you? Thinking, oh, I just have to be positive all the time. And it's like, what? That's insanity. That is insanity, isn't it? It's exhausting for one. And
Well, you
second
don't
of
see
all,
where you're out of alignment with love. So any
right, okay,
where there's vibrational dissonance, after you have a spiritual awakening and your vibration rises, you're more in alignment with the dominant frequency of source, which is love. So
sure.
when these emotions come, there's a trigger, which the trigger is the wound of unhealed trauma, or
Mhm,
there's a negativity or whatever it is that you're uncomfortable with feeling. It's
mm,
just a barometer. It has a message with where you're in alignment with some form of fear of not being good enough, fear of not being worthy of love, fear of being
mhm,
abandoned, whatever it is. And it's not coming to you to punish you. It's coming to show you where you need to heal, where you need to put the higher vibration of love onto that wound and raise its frequency to be integrated into your more higher dominant frequency. So when we sweep everything under the rug that we don't want to face and sprinkle some negativity on it, we're not getting the lesson. And then that is going to keep showing up until you actually face it and heal it.
So are you saying then that love is, oh, sorry, I've got a visual, and we're also probably going to have a language barrier because of the terms we use, but we'll try.
Okay.
Are you saying that the dominant experience of love, of source, is that which can completely and fully encompass the pain and the fear, if we're truly entrenched in that, and it will almost burn up in that, not thinking that, meaning not thinking positively, because that ain't going to change anything, not sprinkling that little bit of positivity over the top with mind, but being in the true presence of that which I am and you are and everyone is, in that frequency, and almost hugging the pain with that energy.
Correct. Because you're accepting it instead of denying it. Denying it is a form of resistance. And energy loves to move. So when you accept and integrate, you get out of fight or flight and you
Mm,
get into a state of receptivity, which is a flow state. Well, what are you receiving? You're receiving the lesson from what this pain is trying to show you. Hey, I
mhm,
have this fear of not being worthy of love. Okay, well, is that fear true? Where did it come from? Well, when I was 7 years old, my father didn't show me love, and so I didn't think that I was worthy. Okay, well, now we need to go back and heal that trauma, and then that pain or trigger will stop showing up because
mm.
you've applied the higher frequency of love to it. Love is that kind of dissolvent. It dissolves everything because it's the dominant frequency of source, and source is everything. So that's always the magic antidote, is to apply love to it.
So many different teachers use many different ways to describe that, right? Feel
Yeah.
it to heal it, kind of
Feel it
thing.
to heal it. Exactly. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always a delicate dance between the two polar opposites, love and fear. Fear holds the highest level of vibrational dissonance to love. And this is always red pill, blue pill, right? That's what every little decision comes down to when you're in that fork in the road, which is really the battle between the ego and the heart.
Mm. So you've got a client and they're going through an incredibly tough moment in their life. What is, so because you've been through that experience, so take yourself back perhaps to Dark Night of the Soul. Yeah. But like, where is it that you meet most of your clients? For me, they're just in the Dark Night of the Soul or just coming out of it. They're having this transitionary moment, like we were talking about earlier, going from one identity to another identity that they're not quite sure of yet, but it's still an identity, but a better version, you know?
Correct.
So take yourself and your mind back there. What's the one piece of advice you would give to younger you or this person in this moment? What do you think the one piece of advice?
Trust the process. It's all for your highest good. And if you're given the choice between reprogramming the old identity into your being.
What does that mean?
So the old identity is the identity that is trying to get off of your current timeline. That's the identity that you had before you had the Dark Night of the Soul. That's the ego death. When we talk about ego death, it's the death of the old identity, because ego is identity. So as that new identity is trying to lay down roots in your current timeline, you're going to be given an opportunity to take the action toward the new identity, or take the blue pill and go back to the old identity.
To that.
Correct. Always choose the new identity. Because you're physically demonstrating to yourself that you're not going to die. There's no reason to be in fight or flight. And you are strong enough to step into that new identity. And then that habitual behavior pattern naturally becomes your new identity.
And that's what matters. Matter, isn't it? That's the physical language.
Correct. Yeah.
Of this existence. Yeah, I love it. I love your expression too. It's taking me time to understand it. Like timeline, what's that? But yeah, no, I'm with you.